This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here at Milos in Piccadilly.
Milos, like the island. Milos restaurant in Piccadilly, Pall Mall. Brilliant staff. Looking at an oyster rack over there. We've had a beautiful meal. Emperor fish sashimi, calamari, tzatziki, hummus, fritter courgettes.
They were unreal, actually.
They were beautiful sea bass.
Yes.
With, what were they with?
Lamb chop.
And lamb chop as well. Couple of margaritas. Got another one on the way. What could be nicer than here on a Monday afternoon with a boxing crew? Frank Warren's invite. He's old school, Frank. It's great to be here and see him. He's on great form. And for me, he's got the most powerful stable in the world right now. Do you disagree with that?
I certainly don't. Certainly in the heavyweight division, and that's kind of
no question, heavyweight.
Why we're here today, Gareth. Is we're little under 3 weeks away now from the first ever undisputed heavyweight title fight to take place in the UK. Dubois Usyk, speaking to Frank, kind of on and off record today. He's supremely confident his man does the business, isn't he?
He is. He believes he can do it. Obviously, Frank believes it wasn't a low blow that Daniel hurt Alexander Usyk with in Wrocław nearly 2 years ago. I believe it was a borderline low blow, but Frank's within earshot. Let's not get him going again, because it gets steam coming out of his ears. I get why he's so confident about Daniel. He's really come on. He's shown more maturity. He's grown up more. He's got more resonance about him in the heavyweight division. He's carried an event at Wembley. He's back-to-back at Wembley. He destroyed Anthony Joshua in 5 rounds. He looked good against Hrgović, Jarrell Miller. He's really come on. He's different as a person. He's a much more confident young man. Make no secret of the fact I've been into camp with Daniel Dubois ahead of this one, and it's great to sit down with him. He's very entertaining to speak to now. He offers things up, and in that sense, you can really see how mentally and physically, I mean, we know what he's capable of physically, but how mentally strong he is and what he's capable of doing against Usyk. I get why Frank believes in him. Frank's signed him since he was 18, 9 years ago. Weirdly, mistakenly, they sent me his contract one time on a WhatsApp, but I had to delete it straight away. I said to Frank, "Oh, you sent this to me." They've really looked after him, I can tell you that. They've looked after him from a very young age and invested heavily in him. When people were calling him a quitter against Joe Joyce, Frank wasn't. Nor was I, actually. I thought he lived to fight another day, and so it's been proven. And this really is the big day for him. And he really believes, not just Frank, but the entire team around Daniel Dubois truly believes. Do I believe it? I'm not sure yet. If he does it, I understand why, but I still think it's a very dangerous fight for him against Alexander Usyk for all the marbles in the heavyweight division.
You say you're not sure yet, Gareth. Do you think you'll get a better indication in and around fight week?
No. I think Daniel's more adept now at getting stuck into his opponents. He and Don Charles got into, Usyk cheated in Wrocław by pretending it was a low blow.
Did he cheat?
No. The referee made the decision that it was a low blow. He certainly took his time and he probably milked the moment. I mean, I've even not said that I feel that there were moments where he was wondering whether he could get Daniel Dubois disqualified for that blow. It wasn't cheating. For me, it was a borderline low blow anyway, i.e. borderline and was low. So, Usyk won fair and square, but I like the shtick that Dubois was giving him when he was here at the press conference, getting stuck into him, saying you were a cheat, saying that you won that fight by underhand means. It's good. They need that. It's psychology for Daniel Dubois to make him more powerful when he steps in there against Usyk. And he's got to go fast and hard and quick, in my view. Early rounds.
I think you said at the table, Gareth, Frank's currently got 10 of the top 20 heavyweights in the division, if not more.
Oh, you were listening. Yeah.
If not more. So I just want to talk to you about a few of them. Start off with Moses and DILLIAN. He's actually got both of them and they're fighting each other. Do you believe it will be as one-sided as a lot of the perception is in the media and in the wider fan base of this boxing circle?
You've got to be honest in this game, and the way Moses has looked so far in his career, your instinct is that he's going to deal with Dillian Whyte, he's going to deal with him handily, and he's going to deal with him fast. Oh, look at that. Let me just... Oh, thank you, sir.
Taste test.
Look at a little taste test. The margarita at Milos here in Pall Mall is absolutely exquisite. A little touch of salt, a little cut chilli.
I reckon you take the chili in one bite. It's got the seeds in it.
I may not leave here today.
Was that chili hot, G? Yeah.
But I like chilies anyway.
Yeah.
I love it. We had chilies with our emperor fish sashimi earlier as well, didn't we? Oh, my mouth's watering again.
Back to Dillian.
Given what Moses has been able to do so far in his career, how good he's looked, it's still resonating there. Nothing like a Monday. Is this going out on today or not?
Yeah.
Nothing like a Monday at Milos. Given how brilliant Moses Tauma has looked so far, how he's dealt with everyone, hand speed, footwork, southpaw angles, power, nerveless, calm and cool as a cucumber. You expect nothing different from him against Dillian Whyte, and he'll have the foot speed and hand speed on Dillian. So I get why Dillian's taking it. Derek Chisora revealed to me on TalkSport, myself and Spencer Oliver, maybe about 10 days ago now, that that he'd been offered $2 million to fight Moses. Said it should be classed as attempted murder. But I get why Dillian's doing it, because Moses is number one with the WBO. If he does pull off an improbable victory, it gets him up the rankings. He's being handsomely paid for it. He's headlining on Riyadh season. He's been out of the game for a while. So I get why Dillian's doing it, but I see Moses as a massive favourite, and it's a huge, huge step-up moment for him in terms of a name, given how young he is in his career. We sit round and we all talk about how exciting Moses is. If Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk's really exciting, and Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora and Tyson Fury and even Alexander Usyk are beginning to slide away from the heavyweight division, how brilliant that we've got Daniel Dubois doing what he's doing right now and Moses Tauma coming up in his shadow. In the middle, Fabio Wardley and some of these other guys. Gosh, we're so blessed at the moment because there's so many great matchups.
Yeah,
do you think he's a massive favourite, Moses Tauma?
I think it would be wrong to say he wasn't the favourite of what he's done now, but it's also very wrong to write off Dillian Whyte after everything he's done in the last 8 years in the heavyweight division.
I'm not writing him off. What I'm saying is I'm giving my pick.
Yeah.
If I'm totally wrong, listen, I think it would be amazing if Dillian gave Moses a real test and it was a slobber.
In some ways that would be better for Moses.
Yeah, and brilliant for Dillian and show that he's still worthy of fighting at the top of the division. But the way people talk about Moses, the things that he's done, the sparring as a schoolboy with Joe Joyce, getting his uniform off at 15, all those stories, the stories that come out of all his sparring sessions about how brilliant he is, like his sparring sessions with Dubois and everyone else, people talk about them like they're thrilled about it. Then, for me, Dillian's a big enough name that it may just get into the head of Moses Tauma a little bit. And if it does, then we'll see a different kind of fight.
What do you make of rumours suggesting that we may see Dave Allen taking on Joseph Parker?
Well, I was speaking to people behind the scenes about that for the last couple of weeks, but I'm hearing different things today. That it may be a British title shot that Dave Allen may end up having against the likes of Jamie TKV. That's what I'm hearing right now, and it might not be Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker will be watching July the 19th to see what happens there, because that could be his next port of call, that could be his next destination, depending on what happens on Wembley on July the 19th between Usyk and Dubois. He's waited all this time. He beat Martin McCauley in February on 36 hours notice. He might as well wait now to see what happens on July the 19th, rather than announcing anything right now, in my view. He's waited out so long. In a similar vein to Ajit Kabayel, they're both sitting there ready to go. Derek Chisora's ready to go. We shall see. I think it's more likely to be Parker and Chisora later in the autumn now. But who knows what's going to happen after July the 19th.
Yeah, if you're top three in any of the governing bodies, you're going to want to be ringside on July 19th, aren't you?
Yeah, and if you're Tyson Fury, and if you're Anthony Joshua. And I want Anthony Joshua to be calling out Deontay Wilder now.
Let's talk about Deontay. What did you make of his performance over the weekend?
As expected, pips are coming out. The seeds, rather. As expected, he won. I wanted to see more of a devastating knockout. He battered Tyrell Herndon from pillar to post. Again, as expected. He's still got something left. Took him 7 rounds. Richard Torres, 6-0, only took 2 rounds to stop Tyrell Herndon. It was a one-sided fight, but he's back in the win column. He's now won his last fight. So I'd like to see Deontay Wilder fight Anthony Joshua. I still think it's a big commercial fight, and I think it still sells out a stadium here in the UK. We know what Anthony Joshua does. He reaches the mainstream. It's a fight we've never had. Yes, it's past its sell-by date in many ways, but there's nothing wrong with it happening as an event, in my view. Doesn't need to be for a belt.
Also over the weekend, Jake Paul, Julio, Cesar, Chavez Jr. I know you've watched it because we spoke off camera. For the sake of the viewers, what did you think of the fight?
Well, I'd set an alarm every round to stay awake, certainly for the first 8 rounds. Jake Paul, literally, it was like he was hitting a bag for 8 rounds, because Julio Cesar Chavez just got walked down, barely threw a punch back, and clearly lost the first 8 rounds, and then started to fight in the 9th round out of 10 rounds, and then won the last 2 rounds, and put Jake Paul under a bit of pressure. Very odd fight, very peculiar fight, but then again, the diaspora, the parabola of Jake Paul's career is very odd anyway. Anderson Silva had beaten Julio Cesar Chavez, a 46-year-old Anderson Silva. Chavez is 39. I think he just turned up for the payday. I don't think they signed contracts, so they're not allowed to hit Jake Paul. But they just know in their head that they're not meant to beat him, I think. It was a very odd fight. I want to see him fight Tommy Fury again. He's calling out Zurdo Ramirez, which is ludicrous.
Yeah, they had a little face-off in the press conference. For anyone who didn't see it, it was like a bit strange because they said they was going to have a photo together, and then Jake started facing off with him. This is widely regarded as the number 2 cruiserweight in the world under Joe Pataya. A real world champion, this is.
Yeah, and a guy he'd have no chance against, in my view. I'm on record as saying I think Jake Paul would now beat Carl Froch.
Really?
46-year-old, 47-year-old Carl Froch, yeah. I think he'd beat him. I think he'd be too big and strong for him, even though Carl believes he'd knock him out. Carl hasn't fought for 11 years. And I just don't think he's got it anymore. He's got everything else. He's got a great take on boxing, a great channel. He's great at trolling, but I think he'd be beaten by Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul against Tommy Fury, Jake Paul against KSI. I mean, Canelo was really close to having a fight with him. Surely he'd have played the game with Jake Paul. And
Tank was there as well.
Yeah, but Tank's too small. Joshua's too big because he's calling out Anthony Joshua as well, isn't he? Which I just have this weird sense that with Jake Paul, anything's possible and he could end up fighting anyone, even Anthony Joshua.
Still think you might fight Conor McGregor?
No.
I spoke to you in the past. You said that fight could happen.
I just don't think I think the boxers are more likely than the former MMA guys, in my view.
Is he past that stage now?
No, he can still fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a doable fight. But he's a lot bigger than McGregor. He's ridiculously bigger than Tank Davis. You know, but Tank Davis would be bouncing in and out trying to knock him out. I like the idea of it.
Mad.
I back Tank Davis to win that one because I don't think he'd hold back.
Yeah, moving on. Last one. Yesterday, we see the poster that the Ring magazine puts out for Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn 2, the rematch on 20th of September. A week earlier than we initially thought it was going to be, when it was rumoured to be the 27th. I see some comments on TalkSport over the weekend, I think, Gareth, where you said it should have been one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you mean by that?
Well, I always felt that they didn't need to do a rematch. I didn't want to see Chris Eubank Jr. become chronically dehydrated and end up in hospital again. It was the fight of the year, in my view. It really delivered in droves. I was privileged to be there commentating and part of the TalkSport team on the night and writing for the Telegraph as well. It was a massive event. It was a real nostalgia event. It was a throwback. Felt like it was one and done because I don't want to see Chris Eubank boil down to 160 pounds again because it's not healthy for him. But I fear that they will do it again at 160 pounds and that he is going to have to boil down. He's got to watch it. I think I give more chance to Conor Benn this time. I had Eubank a clear winner last time. I think he'll be at Spurs. I think you said to me that they're not at home. The football team at home on the day of September the 20th. So we can expect it to be there. I think it'll do a similar number, 70-odd thousand again, and I think it'll deliver. But I do think someone needs to acquiesce, probably from the Conor Benn side, and just allow a bit of leeway for. I'd like to see that for Chris Eubank Jr. in terms of the weight cut and the rehydration clauses.
Is that realistic, though?
No, it's not, because they'll want as many advantages as they can get for Conor Benn because he's the much smaller man, and we saw that on the night. But he's got the greater fitness, the greater tenacity in the fight. Yeah, he's just got to be careful with his health cutting that weight because they are going to go through another grueling 12 rounds, in my view. When boxing does big business, it will always happen, and the fact that Turki Al-Sheikh has got involved again and it's a Ring magazine event means it'll definitely go ahead. They're probably earning hugely for it. I'd imagine that they're probably going to earn 10 million each again, which is brilliant for them.
So, basically, you didn't want it to happen, but you'd definitely be watching.
It's one of those ones that you didn't necessarily want to see again, but you know you're going to go and watch, and you know you're going to work on it, and you know there'll be drama, and they'll come up with, things that'll turn it into a circus again this time. We can't have Eggate all over again. We can't have Eubank Senior turning up out of the blue, surprising all of us in that magical moment, which happened last time.
Is it going to be hard to recreate that vibe, that sheer kind of aura of that night? Don't get me wrong, a big part of it was to do with Senior turning up, but it felt like 2 years in the making.
Well, it was 2.5 years in the making. It had so much drama in the build-up. The hatred that was percolating the entire time, the dislike for each other that grew and grew, the drama we saw, the two-city press conference, the Eubank calling out his opponent a cheat over and over again, and that he'd never respects him as a boxer but not a man. The sudden reveal of Eubank Senior being there in the limo with his son and walking to the ring with him, and you know how he does, soaking it all up, simply the best. And I remember Majestic, the DJ, telling me that he had 10 minutes. He got 10 minutes notice that Eubank Senior was going to be on the ring walk with Junior, having to suddenly make sure he got all the music right. Replicating that drama and that theatre and that circus won't be easy, but this is boxing. Boxing knows how to do these things. It'll be another big event.
Excellent, Gareth. Thank you very much for speaking to IFLTV. I shall see you in Turkey tomorrow night, and there'll probably be more margaritas, won't there?
Not till Wednesday. We'll have a day off tomorrow, but cheers. Always lovely to see you.
Thank you. You're going to down it?
No, I'm not going to down it. It's not what you're doing, margaritas. You sip. But happy Mondays to you. Lovely to see you, Joe Pugh.
Lovely to see you. Thank you very much, mate.